I'll take HK. Beneath the looking glass. Kamakaze. I'll take MK. Twisted pennies. Kwame. I'll take one. The dog pilot. All the man them. Yeah. Listen. Chilling in the baited spot just past 8 o'clock. Heard the sirens had to shake the cops. Hit the spot to weigh the rocks. Fill the fats up with crack rock. Dropped the copper at the stash spot. He had to blast off. His lines blowing up on his Motorola. Got a call from his older. Told him meet him over at the back of the flat so we can hand him his cash. Gave him a few more raps. Then it's back to the cats. Takes a sec to relax. Straps himself a spliff. Takes a token. Lets the smoke rest on the back of his throat. Slippery slope. But he don't want no advice. He thinks about his past life. His mum holding a crack pipe. Takes a couple more tokes. Still it's down to the road. Throws it down, stumps it out. Then it's back to the roads. Back to the code. Back to the code. Another shot sold, that's another lost soul. Foot stuck up in a pothole, searching after lost gold. Turns his phone off, don't want the distraction. It's time for action, keep the money stacking. Never slacking, if it's beef then it's backing. Cause he's packing weapons. Remembers church Sunday when his gran and the reverend. Thinking about heaven and hell, trying to better himself. Getting stressed, well that's when the medicine helps. Yeah, the medicine helps. Back to the business, calls on his trap line. Blowing up like a landmine. There's a guy who owes him a tip from last time. See some blue flagging youths throwing up a gang sign. And he considers seeing his mother. Thinks about the Jakes and when they gon' be freeing his brother. Trying to take all his peeps from the gutter. Starts raining so he stands under trees for the cover. His chick's ringing, although we told him not to. Although we told a baby girl, anytime I got you. Ignoring her seems the easiest thing. So he chills out there and just leaves it to ring. Shots a few more shots, another fiend, another note. Another spliff, another tote. Throws it down, stumps it out. Then it's back to the road, back to the code, back to the cold. Another shot sold, another lost soul. Foot stuck up in a pothole, searching after lost gold. Yeah. That's another shot sold, that's another lost soul. Foot stuck up in a pothole, searching after lost gold. He carries on and his girl's still calling. He's still stalling, don't feel like talking. He starts walking but the ringing don't stop. So he picks up the phone and then he says, yo, what? And then it changes to so what, then fuck's sake. Over a month late, well what did your mum say? She asked me when I took the test, so I told her Sunday. Deep down he knew that this would happen someday, cause the sex was always unsafe. But then he hangs up, thinks about his little nephew while his older brother's banged up. Thinks about the day when they took him off in handcuffs. And then he mans up, and then he stands up. If I'm gonna have to provide, I'm gonna stack more grands up, way more grams up. He thinks about the fiend who owns him a tip, so he checks for his shank and his phone real quick. He's moving bare shifty, he don't live far, he'll be over there quickly. He turns the corner but to his surprise, it's them blue flagging youths with a couple of guys. The chase begins and they're all after him. He doesn't know whether to dash the ting, cause it's wrapped in cling. So he grips his knife, he figures I'ma fight for this shit for my life. They got him trapped and he unleashes the fiercest swing. Near his chin, the knife pierces skin. The kid's fucked and he drops like an anvil. Him and 3 youths all brought to a standstill. He realizes knives can kill, but he knew it already. And the leader of the crew already drew his machete. He's not hit with the cliche flashback. School days with his backpack, his is more abstract. He's sitting in the church in a suit and a tie, smoking a zoot and he's high. Turns to the side and there he sees his gran. He sees a mum with a pipe in her hand, a man with no face he didn't quite understand. And he just puts his head in his hands. When he returns, it's a totally different thing. It's a christening, he remains listening. As the reverend reads out a psalm, he sees his girl holding a baby boy in her arms. He looks around, glances over at his mum, but before he can, enters his brother and his son. And how can something so beautiful change to his funeral? Sees all his fake friends who were two-faced, walking up to his coffin and dropping bouquets. It's funny in them hard situations, who stays, who fades, who snakes and who jakes. Remembers back at school, he was never one to ask for beef, but now he sees the scene, coffins, flowers and handkerchiefs. He wants to see his girl, his brother, his mum, his nephew, his cousin, his son, his son, his son, his son, his son. Snap back to reality, the kid attacked savagely. Two grabbing him, the other one stabbing him. They dash him down on the cold wet floor. Now his body looks like a game of Connect 4. His legs bleeding, blood's leaking, harsh breathing. He calls for help, but nobody sees him. Chances of living are decreasing, and now he breathes in. Another last breath, another death, another knife, another life, another fiend, another note, another spliff, another tote. Dash it out, stump it out, and then it's back to the roads, back to the code, back to the cold. Another shot sold, that's another lost soul. Foot stuck up in a pothole, searching after lost gold.